Welcome to Aaron, the first step towards your coding career. In this video, what we will do is we'll try to do some coding problems on patterns where we will use the looping conditions, multiple loops, how to do that. We will check that so that we can complete our module here. So without any further ado, let me go to the IDE. Here we are trying to work with patterns. The first pattern that I want to work on is, let's say I'll input any number, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to extract the last digit of the number 5 first, and then, the next digit 4, 3, 2, 1. I want to print in this fashion. For that, what I will do is, let me try to understand the problem. So S out, the number that I am entering is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I want to extract the last digit, how can I do that? Let's think for a while. What all operators do we have? We are either using a division operator or a modulo operator. If we divide by 10, what is the output that we will get? When you divide by 10, as expected, the output would be the quotient, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing if you do a modulo here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, modulo 10. Then you see that the output is 5 instead. That is the reminder. 5 is what we want in our output. Then let's say next time I want 4. Here when I divided, I got the output as 1, 2, 3, 4. So here when I did a modulo, I get the output as 5. This time, whatever 1, 2, 3, 4 I got, right? If, I do a modulo here, let's see what output we'll get. So as expected, it would be 4 actually. Okay, it's 4. But next, what I want to do is S out of 1 to 3 modulo 10. 1 to 3 modulo 10. In a similar fashion, let me do it. 1 to modulo 10 S out of 1 modulo 10. That will give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that is the desired output. So this is an iterative fashion. What we are doing is modulo 10 is what we are doing iteratively. So this we have to keep in mind that in loop somewhere we will use this modulo 10. But we are also iteratively doing a division by 10. Only when you do a division by 10 iteratively, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will become 1, 2, 3, 4. And similarly, it will become 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1. So for now, I'll comment out this code and I'll say int number equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Int number equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For in my loop, I can take the same statement and put it here also like this for initialization. Next, I'm doing a condition checking. This I'm doing 1 percentile 10 would give me 1. But in the next step, if I go for a division operator over 1, what I will get is 0 percentile 10. So 0 percentile 10 is not the desired value that we want. So what we will do is as long as the number is positive, and that means as long as the number is greater than 0, in the iterations, what we will do is number equal to number by 10. That means first time in the iterations, let me open up a page here. First time in the iteration, the number would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next iteration, previously increment or decrement is what we are trying to do. We are trying to change the number, either reduce the number to some value or increase the number to some value and check at a certain point. Here we are reducing the number, but then not using a plus or minus. We are reducing using a division operator. So we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 in the next iteration. And in the next iteration, we'll get 1, 2, 3. Next iteration, we'll get 12, 1 and 0. When we are at 0, here we are checking 12 greater than 0, true, will execute. 1 greater than 0, true, will execute. 0 greater than 0, false. This is a condition checking. Here we will not execute. Now, what is that we are trying to print? Sys out of, initially you have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the console. We want to print percentile 10. That is 5 first time. 5 first time, 4 next time, 3, 2, 1, and we don't want to print the 0. Let's see if this will work. So 54321 is printed on the console. This is how, like in the previous program, previous video, I have mentioned that while using a for loop, it's not just plus, increment or decrement we will use. We can also use any other operation. In this example, we have used a division operation, and while printing also, we can use some custom logic, because in our program, we wanted to have this kind of a logic. We have implemented it this way. What I will do is simply, just for the sake of making this more, interactive, I'll say enter a number. Then whatever number I am entering, I'll say int number. I need a scanner class, right? I'll say scanner equal to new scanner system dot in. Then here I'll say int number equal to scanner dot next int. So int number equal to scanner dot next int. Here we already initialized it. We have two options. Either we can remove this statement like this. Okay, we can remove this statement like this. So we have to give like this. In this case, the initialization has already happened here. We can say number greater than 0, number equal to number by 10, or you can remove this here and you can place it here. You can place it here. Anything would work. So let me run the program. Enter a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like it's the definition, problem definition. Let's say a number, I enter a number 365, 385. I'll get 583 printed onto the console. So this is one program. Now we'll go for another pattern program, control slash. So now what we will do is we will try to print a square star pattern. We'll try to print a square basically. So how we will do that is, for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 4, I plus plus. This is my first for loop, which will define my, this is the outer loop. This is the outer loop, which will define my number of rows. How many rows I have here? I have 4 rows. So what are the values that this I will take? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the values I will take. In the inner loop, because it's a square, I'll take for int. Inside, if I take I, what happens? Again, I'll take variable I. Because in this scope, this is the scope of the for loop. In this scope, I is already defined. If you define another I variable with the same name, it will, the IDE will say variable I is already defined in the scope. So for that reason, we'll give some other name. That is, let's say J. J equal to 1, J less than or equal to 4, J plus plus. And I'll define a scope or the block for it. This is the block that will be executed. This is the inner loop. Inner loop, this will define the number of columns. You'll understand what I am telling just in a while. So it will take 4 values, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4, because j is less than or equal to 4. What I will do is I'll just print star here. Let me run. Okay, when I have printed star and ran, what happened is 4 into 4, 16 times star has been printed on different lines. But what I was expecting is a square, right? For in order to print a square, it should not be on next line. It should be system.out.print. So now you see all the values are printed on one line. So for that, what we can do is after every 4 stars are printed, After every 4 stars are printed, I'll give another line, uh, just a empty line. Let me try to run this. Now you see, we got what is desired. We got a square star pattern. So just this line had made all the difference. Initially, 4 times we were printing star, 4 times we are printing star. This has defined the rows for us. Then after 4 times we are printing the star, we want to print a line space. That is next line we want to go. How many next lines, how many next rows you want to go, how many rows is defined by this condition, the first condition. So this is 4. Let's say if I change this to 6. Now let's see what happens. So now we'll see 4 stars are printed for 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is the number of rows that we are printing. 6 is the number of rows that we are printing. And inner loop is the number of columns. We are printing 4 stars, right? This time if I say 5 stars, that is 5 columns if we are printing. 5 columns 6 times. So 5 stars we are printing 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times we are printing. So for now we can remember this like a formula. Outer loop is the rows. Whatever number you are giving is the number of rows. Inner loop is the number of columns. So I'll give another variation to this. This same thing I can give a space here. This time, let's see what happens. So we have got a beautiful square pattern here. This is not exactly a square because there are 5 stars and 6 rows. If I want to make this as 5 cross 5 kind of a square, I'll give like this. So this is 5 stars, 5 stars printed in 5 rows. This is a square. This is the basic understanding of patterns. After that, what we will do is we will tweak the same program to get various different patterns. So I am commenting this out here. And what I will do is, let me try to give the code and try to understand how that replicates as the output. And one by one, we will see. Int I equal to 1. Okay. I less than or equal to this. I am generalizing as n rows. Okay. It and here I'll say int n equal to, for example, 4, and here I'll say I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. For now, I'm getting the same code below here. Int j equal to 1, j less than or equal to n, j plus plus, s out of star. Okay, I gave x. X is also fine. And x I'm printing. And after this loop, I'm printing a line because that will allow me to print different rows on different columns. Let me just run this here. It should be a 4 cross 4 kind of axis to be printed on the screen. Okay, so what mistake that we did here? You try to look at this and try to understand. This is printed on different lines. So the mistake that we did here is this. If we remove this and we print like this, we should be getting our desired output. So 4x's we got on 4 rows. Now what I want to do is I want to work with a pattern where I don't want these 3 stars here. I don't want these 2 stars here. I don't want this 1 star here. I just want kind of a, let's say, right angle pyramid. So first, there are 4 columns printed, right? I want this iteration to happen only once. Column once, here twice, here thrice, and here 4 times. So when we are talking about columns, we are talking about the inner loop. Columns, we're talking about the inner loop. Here we want the iterations to happen. J is equal to 4 ones, let's say, or it is 1 once, 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. So what I will do is here I have the values 1, 2, 3, 4 for the rows. So let me just try to do this. J less than or equal to I. I value is 1. J equal to 1. J less than or equal to 1. Here I equal to 1. First iteration. In the first iteration, here I equal to 1. We enter this loop. Here first time I equal to 1 and j less than or equal to 1. It will execute for j equal to 1. Next time when I equal to 2, we will have two iterations happening here. I equal to 2, I equal to 2, j equal to 1, I equal to 2 and j equal to 2. Two times the loop is iterating. Let me run this. Similarly, it will happen for 1 when I say one time the loop will be repeated, two times the loop will be repeated, and then it will be for three times and finally for four times. So let me just run this. So now you see, first column was repeated for one time. Second column, this two columns this time. Here this is three columns this time. Here this is four columns this time. The rows are standard. It is four rows only. These rows we are getting from the outer loop and the columns we are getting from the inner loop. This is how you will get a this thing. Right angled pyramid is something it is called like that. So let me try to tweak this a little bit. In the next program, I'll comment out this part of the code and I'll get the same code now and tweak it a little bit. Int n equal to 4, I am uncommenting these lines. So here columns we got one time, two time, three time, four time. Instead, if I want four times, I want the column to be repeated first, three times and two times and one time. 4, 3, 2, 1. I want four x's first time, three x's on the second time, two and then one. So here what I will do is, here simply I will say j equal to n. This is whatever n that we are defining, j greater than or equal to I, and I'll say j minus minus. Let's see how it runs. See, we have inverted now this time. Four columns we implemented. First time, let me do this a little bit slowly this time. Okay. In the first iteration, we are in the first iteration, I equal to 1. Fine. We entered this block. When we entered this block, I equal to 1. Then my j is equal to n, which is nothing but 4. Okay. Then my condition executed and I printed x once. And after that, what will happen is my j is reduced to 3 now this time. I'm still in the I equal to 1. I'm still in the I equal to 1 block only. This loop I'm executing four times. This loop I'm executing four times. I equal to 1, j equal to 3 is second time I'm executing. I equal to 1, j equal to 2, third time I'm executing. I equal to 1, j equal to 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth time executing. Next time I equal to 1 and j equal to 0. This will not execute. What is that I'm executing? I'm printing x. So initially I printed x space x space x space x. After that I got a new line. That means x space x space x. Then I am on a new line this time. I'm on a new line this time. In the second iteration, when I come to I equal to 2, same thing, when I equal to 2, j equal to 4, and I equal to 2, j equal to 3, I equal to 2, j equal to 2, and I equal to 2, j equal to 1, j greater than or equal to I is what I am checking. Here j value 1 greater than or equal to 2 is what I am checking. So this here I will exit. So how many times I am repeating? 1, 2, 3. At this condition, when I equal to 2, and j equal to 1, I don't execute. That means this time, instead of 4 times, I'll print just 3 times. So here I'll print x, x, x 3 times. So in this fashion, we will execute the number of rows. This is the number of rows, and this is the number of columns. Outer loop is for number of rows and inner loop is for number of columns. In this fashion, we will execute and we will get the output as desired, like this. Output as result. Let me check. We have the same output, right? Yeah, we have the same output. So take this a little bit slow. Try to run the iterations and try to write down on a paper what is the value of I, what is the value of j in every iteration. Take some time. In the initial time, it would be a little bit tricky, but once you practice it for a couple of times, it will get easy. Now we'll go for another pattern. Last pattern, int n equal to 4. So I'm taking this code. Okay, I'm taking this code, Control C. I am uncommenting this and I'll run this code just to see how will it appear. So this appears like this, but what I want is kind of a pyramid kind of a pattern. When I want a pyramid kind of a pattern, I'll write the code, I'll try to run it, then I'll try to explain. So initially this rows, this is 4 times it is executing. This is fine for me. And columns also, columns, it will repeat first time for once, second time for twice, third and fourth. For now, what I will do is, just give me a second. What I will do is, this is executing once. J less than or equal to j equal to 1, j less than or equal to I. Give me a second to think about it. Okay, now what I will do is, I will have another loop just for spaces to accommodate spaces. So inside this, I am removing this part of the code. I'll write another loop for int, let's say s equal to I, s less than n, s plus. S is initially 1, then it will once, twice, thrice, fourth, just like this. S equal to I, just like this, it is repeating. Then I'll print nothing but a space. And I'll keep this as it is. Okay. And I'll try to run and then I'll try to see the output and I'll explain. Okay, we got something similar, but what happened is we have got more empty line spaces. We have got more empty line spaces because this is actually in this loop, this statement has to be executed here. This is for the spaces, right? Okay, this is fine. This is for the stars, let's say. I'll change this to a star. Okay. Then after that, we printed this. Let me run this. Okay, now I got the mistake. Where I am doing the mistake. Here we have given a ln here. So we are printing an extra space from here. Now you see we have got a nice pyramid. So now I will try to explain this pyramid. First row, when you're looking at it, so what it has is there are one, two spaces here. There is a star and a empty space. See, I'm selecting it. This empty space, there is an empty space here. This empty space is coming from this line. There is one empty space here. Same, it is coming from this line. And the left hand side, it has one, two, and three spaces. These spaces are printed. Let me grab this little bit down. These spaces are printed from here. S equal to I. When I say S equal to I, what is my I value? Let me minimize this. What is my I value? Initially, my I equal to 1. I am here, my S equal to 1. And then as long as S is less than or equal to N equal to 4. And S value will increment. S value will increment to 1, 2, 3. For S equal to 4, we will come out of the loop. So there are three spaces in front star, and there is a star printed one space after that. And in the next iteration, what happens when I value becomes 2, S equal to your I, right? Then N equal to 4, then we will iterate for the values 2 less than or equal to 4. That is, we'll go for 2, 3. Two values only. That is, 2 stars would be printed. So try to take some time and try to understand this program. If you have any doubts, you can leave a comment anywhere. I would feel great to explain it in a separate video. So I am running it once again. So we got this pyramid like this. So these are some basic patterns that we can try to code to understand the logical ability, how we are understanding Java code and everything. So this would conclude module 1. Whatever we want to cover in module 1, this would conclude. We have covered all these topics in module 1. Introduction to Java, why Java, installing some programs, variables and data types, operators, expressions, conditional statements, if else, else if, and nested if else, and switch case, loops for while, do while loop, break, continue. And we did some coding problems, especially for patterns. So in the next module, we'll come up with some other important topics, and all these modules, there are 7 to 8 modules, I think, just in core Java. Okay, in Java full stack roadmap, there are a lot of courses. One course is core Java. In core Java, we have multiple modules where we have completed only one module. So this is a long journey. Take some time and try to practice everything. And if you have any doubts, feel free to put a comment. I'll get in touch and I'll have a live Zoom session on a weekend and I'll explain the doubts. Or I'll make a video for you guys based upon the doubts. So it will be an interactive session. You can contact me either on YouTube or on Udemy and try to put up your doubts so that I'll interact with you and solve your questions. So that's all from my side for module 1. For module 1, this is all I have. Take care, all the best, and welcome to ARAM, the first step for your coding career.